Howdy, folks. Welcome to Mental Health Monday. My name is Kenneth Thomas, and on Mondays, I like to talk about different kinds of things that impact mental health. I talk about some of my struggles in my journey on dealing with um, PTSD, depression, anxiety, some of the different kinds of things like that. I also talk about other things that impact mental health. And today, one of the things that I want to really talk about is how what you eat can affect how you feel. If you're not getting proper nutrition, it's going to impact how your body operates. It's going to impact all different kinds of aspects of your physical wellness. But what a lot of people don't realize is that it also has a great deal of impact on how you how on your mental wellness, on your mental and emotional health. And if you're lacking in certain key ingredients or nutrients rather, and you're lacking in other aspects of what you need to be getting in, your body doesn't have all that it needs to be able to operate the way it needs to. And this can cause chemical imbalances in the body. This can cause all kinds of issues for you. So one of the big things that we want to make sure that we're doing is that it's not just eating healthy for heart health, which is important, for weight control, blood sugar control, those kind of things. All of that is very, very important. But another key aspect is getting the right kind of nutrition so that it helps your brain, it helps you function better, it helps you have a better emotional stability and being able to weather the different kinds of challenges that'll come to you in life. One of the things that I found that is apparently very, very important is magnesium. Making sure that you're getting enough magnesium is very important to helping your body metabolize a lot of key things, but it also is key to helping you with your emotional well-being. Another aspect of what you eat affecting how you feel is, sometimes we're looking for that feel good, feeling that we get from eating certain of our favorite foods. They could be junk foods. They could be, one of the things that I personally love is I love a good cheeseburger. I ain't gonna lie. That's one of my favorite things in the world. Cheeseburger and pizza has been for most of my life. Not necessarily the healthiest thing to eat. There are healthier ways to have those kind of things and get that kind of craving taken care of. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's actually doing you some good. And what I mean by that is eating healthier will cause the body, will help you feel better in the long run. Okay. And as your physical wellness is improving, this also takes a lot of strain off of your mental and emotional wellness. I know it has for me. I mean, when I was in the Army, and one of the things I always had to work on was making sure that I stayed in compliance with the body composition standards, not having too much body fat and that kind of thing. That really affected what I could and couldn't eat. And it was also something that stressed me out all the time. Now, there's a lot of different aspects in our society where how you look is judged, and there's a lot of stress that can put on you. So that's another aspect of how nutrition will affect how you feel. If you're having all this stress and stuff coming from the fact that you're not eating healthy and it's causing weight gain, or it's causing other kinds of digestive issues and different kinds of things like that, then it's important to take into account that, what I'm eating is affecting my mental health. Even though it may feel good in the short term, even though it can't it's one. Okay, I guess what I'm trying to figure out how to say is it's a short-term thing. You're feeling good at that moment that you're eating that cheeseburger, that you're enjoying it, and you're just like, oh God, this is so good. But afterward, you could be compounded by guilt. You may have digestive issues from it that are going to make you feel physically unwell. When you're feeling physically unwell, it affects your mental wellness. So all of these things are things that need to be taken into consideration. So getting the right kind of nutrition and getting the right types of supplements, I guess, if you're taking supplements, getting ones that are actually going to help impact your mental health by improving your physical health is very important. Excuse me, lemonade. I'll tell you, one of the things I didn't think was going to be that big of a deal for me. I used to drink Coke Zero almost nonstop. It was the only thing I would drink almost all day long. Now I'm drinking my Splash 208 lemonade, sugar-free, calorie-free, tastes great. I'm drinking lots of water with it. That has actually impacted my mental health because I do feel a little draggy sometimes in the morning because I'm not getting the caffeine, but that's another story. I can always have coffee. But that one change in my diet and that one change in what I was doing has really lightened up a lot of things for me mentally. I notice now that if I sit down and have more than like 1 or 2 sodas, that my mind isn't working the way it normally does. I've noticed this difference just because of how much water I'm getting by drinking this instead of something else. So not just what you eat, what you drink, getting these kind of things in so that your body runs properly, so that your mind has, so that your brain has the nutrients and everything else that it needs is an aspect of mental health that I think a lot of people don't take into consideration. A lot of people talk about, oh, you need to get your omega-3s for your heart health and your blood cholesterols and that kind of thing. And you need to be having this for that. But the general aspect of it is you need to be eating healthy because it also helps you with your mental health. If you're feeling physically better, if you're getting more energy, if you're able to do more things, you feel better mentally. So this is one of the reasons that I'm trying to lose weight, because I want to be able to do things with my daughters. I want to be around longer for them. This is big on my mental health because, I had the realization that I was putting myself in an early grave with the way I was living. And that put a lot of emotional strain on me because I realized the impact that could have on my family. Doing these things, I feel better about myself because I'm making these little changes and I'm working towards these things. Doing these things and changing how I'm eating is impacting my mental health in so many ways. I'm excited to try new things. I'm finding out that I'm passionate about doing this kind of stuff. I'm doing all kinds of little cooking things. And my wife is having a ton of fun. If you guys really want to see some of what we're doing with this R3 journey that we're doing, y'all need to check out her reels, because every time I turn around to try to cook something or prep something or something like that, she's sitting there filming it, putting it together into a reel so that she can share with everybody what we're doing as far as how we're cooking, how we're preparing things, and that kind of stuff. So y'all need to check her out. Jessica B. Hummus. All right. I will put a link to her in the comments after this video is over. And all you need to do is click on her and hit follow, and you'll see what we're up to. It also brings up, because we're usually going live for Foodie Fridays from her account. But back to mental health. Um, so getting the right kind of nutrition, getting the right kind of supplements, helping your body maintain its body chemistry is all going to impact your mental health. Because if your body chemistry is out of whack, you are totally going to have your mental aspects out of balance and out of whack as well. So think about what it is you're eating. If you have things that you're trying to figure out, drop them in the comments below. Let me know what kind of questions you have about what you should be eating, things that you might need to make sure you're getting more of to help with your mental health. Now, I will tell you this much. There are a lot of really fantastic herbal supplements out there that can do a lot of good for you. But if you are straight McDonald's, yeah. For me, it was always Whataburger. I love Whataburger more than McDonald's. That doesn't mean I don't go after my Big Macs every now and then. Thank you for that, Daryl. But one of the things that waiting for my brain totally derailed me there. Anybody help me remember where I was? I don't remember. So we're just going to let that wander off. Yeah, I have these problems. Part of it is the fact that I've been rattled a little bit. Part of it is the fact that I'm just getting old. And part of the fact is supplements. Thank you, Daryl. Part of it is the fact that I have ADHD and my brain just bounce all over the place. If you're taking supplements, one of the big things that you need to remember is that certain medications that you may be taking for your mental health can have very adverse reactions based on the types of herbal supplements and stuff. Like I know for a fact that certain medications I have means St. John's wort is a no-no. Yes, good food variety is always important. The more variety you have, the more exciting your food is. And it helps you feel better there too. But like I was saying, if you're looking at herbal supplements to help you with your mental wellness, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, if you are someone who is taking medications for your mental health, like me, like a lot of other people, before you do that, talk to your doctor and do a little bit of research to make sure that this herbal supplement that everybody's talking about and helps them isn't something that's going to impact the medication that you're taking and cause an adverse reaction. Because while we're doing these things to try to change how we're feeling, we don't want to undo what's working for us. Now, if you find something that you really want to try, but it's contraindicated because of a medication you're on, talk to your healthcare provider. Because it may be something where you can change from this type of medication to this type of medication, and then you can add in these herbal supplements and stuff that you're interested in. Sorry, lemonade. So make sure that herbal supplements, now vitamins and minerals are rarely going to have any kind of impact on medications that you're taking. I'm not saying they won't. I'm not saying it never all happen. But more often than not, this is types of nutrition we need to be getting into our body anyway. So it's not really an adverse thing. Now, herbal supplements, you always need to be mindful of herbal supplements because they can impact the medications you're taking. All right. So I don't want to try to harp on that. I just don't want people going, oh, you said to take this. And I'm not a doctor. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm telling you what works for me. And I'm giving you some thoughts and advice on this. So I take my Peak Performance every day. It's got a multivitamin and a number of other supplements in there to help with joints, heart, mental acuity, all those different kinds of things. I'm not saying you have to take that much. I'm not saying that you need to take anything, but keeping in mind that the best way to get your vitamins and minerals is in your food, and that supplements are just that. They're supplementing what you're taking in with your food. So Lots of bright colored veggies will help you with a lot of your vitamins, making sure that you're getting a lot of different colors of food, because one, it's visually appealing. That brings in some emotional aspects of it, but also the more colors that you have, the more types of nutrients and stuff that you're going to find. And this is kind of a broad statement. It's not necessarily saying anything particular, but the more variety you have in your food, the more types of nutrition that you're getting in there. So that, to me, is one of the big aspects, is while you're eating, have some variety, make it fun. So Daryl says that he makes sure to have variety. Big Mac, quarter pounder, McChicken. Yeah, that is variety, but you know what? That isn't necessarily the best variety. Now, here's another thing. All things in moderation. I'm not saying that you shouldn't indulge yourself, but in moderation. You know, a good rule that I'm learning about is 80-20. 80% of the time, stick with what you know you should be doing. And the other 20% of the time, let yourself have those cravings and take care of that kind of stuff. So if you think about it, 3 meals a week, a day, 7 days a week, that's 21 meals. Okay. What's 20% of 21? That's 4. So say 3 or 4 meals a week, not days, meals a week. Having that burger isn't going to completely derail you. Having that pizza isn't going to completely derail you. Now, I would encourage you not to have all 4 of those meals in a row. Spread them out. Another thing is a lot of people will say, go with 3. Whatever you decide to do, the thing to remember is that you don't want to just completely, the only 80-20 that Daryl knows is in his hamburger meat. Well, that also depends upon what you're trying to make, because sometimes you want to have a little bit more of that fat in there, and sometimes you want to have a little less in there, depending upon what you're trying to make. That's one of the things I keep trying to tell people that always buy this super lean meat, and they're like, it doesn't work when I'm trying to do this. That's because there's not enough fat in it for it to stick together and do what you're trying to make it do. That's a whole nother thing. And a lot of people want that 90% lean, 10% fat. That's good, depending upon what you're doing. If you're trying to make a meatloaf, if you're trying to do like stuffed bell peppers, something like that, you want a little bit more fat content in there because it makes it stick together. So one of the big things that to keep in mind with that 80-20 rule is that, you also don't want to sit there and go out to breakfast, have most of the stuff that you're supposed to have that fits into what you're trying to do, but go ahead and have the biscuits and gravy, or have the hash browns or the potatoes or whatever it is. But that doesn't mean have the biscuits and gravy and the hash browns and the pancakes. I hope you get what I'm trying to say is, like I said, all things in moderation. But if you try to totally change everything and you never have these foods that you love, you're going to be miserable. So don't try to do that to yourself. Limit it. Make it a reward for something. If I achieve X goal, then I'm going to get to go have my favorite pancake breakfast or whatever it happens to be. So there's a lot of different aspects that you can do to help motivate yourself, to help fit things that you're doing as far as your diet and your nutrition into your mental health. By the way, folks, you'll hear me talking about diet a lot. When I'm talking about diet, I'm talking about what it is that you're eating, your eating habits. I am not talking about a specific diet, like some of the fad diets or some of these other diets, or a training diet. If I'm talking about a training diet, because I'm talking about getting ready for something, I will mention the fact that it's a training diet. It's a regimen. I'm talking about diet as in your daily life, living, eating habits. Okay. So healthier eating habits, making sure that you're getting the proper nutrition and everything else, is going to impact how you feel. All right. If you have any questions and stuff about that, drop me a comment. If you're not seeing the live up here in the corner, still trying to figure out how to do this. If you're not seeing the live up there in the corner, then that means you're catching this on the replay. Please drop me a hashtag replay. And again, tomorrow I'll be here around noon again for Tuesday's tips, which is when I give tips on photography and lighting and video. And on Wellness Wednesdays, again, around noon. And I talk about different aspects of wellness. And then on Thursday's Thoughts, where I talk about how I'm seeing the world, my personal philosophy, aspects of leadership, different kinds of things that I picked up during my life. And then, of course, Foodie Fridays, Hummus Foodie Fridays at 4 p.m. All these times are central, by the way, 4 p.m., where my wife, Jessica, and I go live. And we share what's going on in our lives, and we cook for the family. And what's really funny is a lot of times we end up cooking for the family, and Jessica and I are the only ones that end up eating it because the kids are like, "That's got too many vegetables. I don't like that." Whatever. Of course, when I was a kid, you eat what was cooked for dinner, or you go hungry. Apparently, no, we're not supposed to do that nowadays because that's a bad thing to do. So until next time, folks, peace, love, and photography. And remember, everything can make a beautiful image, including you. Have a great afternoon.